And that brings us to our second topic. One of the most interesting, I thought, tweets of yesterday, and I retweeted it, was from Matt Mayoko. And he put out there that, here it is. He says, Kyle Shanahan suggested that the plan was to begin rotating John Feliciano in to the 49er offense. He'll start Sunday due to Aaron Banks' injury, said Shanahan. We were going to start playing him a little bit just to get him in there regardless of how consistent he has been. Here's a guy, and I talked to Feliciano on Tuesday, and he was saying, or Wednesday, and he was saying that, he's got more experience at guard than center. He's built at this point, seems to me more like a center. After watching DJ Reader just overpower Jake Brendel, I'd love to see what Feliciano looks like at center. But if you really want to go with where he needs to play, I mean, he's going to play left guard for Banks this week, but Banks is the Niners' second highest graded out offensive lineman behind Trent.
I love Aaron.
Yeah, and he's probably going to be their left guard for the next 10 years. The guy who's been colossally disappointing, even though I love him as a guy, is Spencer Burford.
He struggled.
And it's just Burford is just a walking penalty. I mean, he cannot. And then one of the main reasons the Niners are not running the ball is that they're even if they have a good play, they're not on the field long enough because Burford's making a penalty. They couldn't run wide last week against Cincinnati because Cincinnati had so much speed and beat them to the edge.
They were beating them.
They couldn't run inside either because Burford kept getting penalties. And this is not a 1 week deal. He's had a lot of penalties. So I guess I'll throw it to you this way, Coach. We know Feliciano's going to play left guard for Banks, but Banks is the best of those three guys between Burford, Brendel, and Banks. So when Banks gets healthy, and hopefully it's quick, but you never know. He's got turf toe. You know how bad turf toe is.
Yeah, it's got a mind of its own.
Right, exactly. Turf toe could be, I mean, literally, he could be back next week, or he could be out for the year. I mean, that's the range of turf toe.
Yeah.
Sometimes, heck, turf toe could be career threatening. I mean, sometimes it's that serious, but we'll see. Let's just say Banks is only going to miss a week or two because that was the projection. And it sounds like the Niners want to get Feliciano on their line. I said Feliciano was one of the underrated pickups of the offseason because I really believe that he could start. Would you rather start him over Brendel or at center, or would you rather start him over Burford at right guard? Who should go to the bench when Banks gets healthy?
You're going to make me do this. I love you, Larry.
Well, I think most people would say Burford right now.
Spencer.
But
it's Spencer.
I just can't stand getting destroyed by
powerful
nose guards at the point. Reader destroyed Brendel. And
the reason
Fletcher
why I don't
Cox is sitting there in week 13.
Well, the reason why I want to keep Jake is because switching out a center is not necessarily switching out a position. That's switching out like an entire job set, to be able to read the calls, see the protections. I don't know how much onus they put on the offensive line to handle that type of stuff, but that would come from Jake. That's a hell of a big ask to come in as a backup and play center.
Feliciano's a vet.
He is.
I'm not worried about Feliciano making the calls. I just want to have Feliciano there for Brendel just because he's, 3.25 as opposed to 285.
Yeah, but I mean, I will put that 3.25 over Spencer. Spencer's not necessarily as physical as I'd like him to be. If you had to sit down, I'd sit the pup down. I'd sit down and Spencer. He's still young enough for you to be able to still nurture him. He wouldn't be destroyed. He's played a lot. He's played more than he's ever played as far as a season is concerned. He's played all of the starting snaps. I think that he could handle it if they did sit him down. Now, if you sit Jake Brendel down, I mean, he's just yours and yours only. There's really no worth in him. Nobody else is going to want him. And if you bring Jake Brendel back, if Feliciano gets hurt, now you're up Schitt's Creek without a true backup center. If Feliciano can do it, if I had a backup, there's two offensive line positions that I would hold on to. I would hold on to my backup left tackle, who's my swing tackle, and I would hold on to my backup center, right? Because those are the guys who literally the offensive line is done if you have to put a guy who doesn't play the position in those two positions on the offensive line. So if I had to stick in Joe once Aaron gets back, Feliciano, I would put him at right guard over Spencer Burford. It would help out with and you know what? This is something, now that this is coming to me, it would actually help. Spencer and Colton, I've watched all of their film this year, and Spencer and Colton, they still have like a flow issue where the facts are is that Spencer is quicker than Colton, but Colton is faster than Spencer, right? So when they do scoop blocks on the backside, right, what happens is that Spencer tends to leave Colton too fast, and there's a natural gap between the trade-off for them going to the second level, and Colton never gets there in time. Never gets there in time. And a lot of that is because Spencer is a quick-footed, agile athlete because he's going from tackle to guard. But some of that is strength. Some of that is Spencer doesn't want to stay there long enough to get blown off the ball. He knows that the best he has is my initial surge off the ball. Me throwing my body forward on top of my strength is the best I got. Once we're at the point of attack and that man gets his hands on me, I'm done for. I'm going for a ride. So I feel like just by almost atrophied the fact that he doesn't have the strength, he lunges at players to try to generate power, but he doesn't stay long enough to actually help out his teammate. If we're talking about maybe a ball going to the left-hand side on the backside flow in the scoop block. Conversely, on the front side, when they're doing combo blocks, Colton ends up leaving Spencer all the time. Colton has stronger hands, but Spencer isn't strong enough to be able to get around that point of attack, get around that end or that 5, or to go up to that backside backer. And it happens literally every run play they have. It's either they go backside, Spencer isn't strong enough to hold. If they go front side, Spencer isn't strong enough to hold off that 3 tech so Colton can come over, right? So he leaves too quick. And then when they go backside or outside, Colton is too fast for Spencer, and Spencer's either not strong enough to hold the point of attack. He lets depth up the field, and they create a brand new edge. A lot of times ball carriers have to either spill inside or bounce prematurely, throwing off rush angles that they don't want to have. So a lot of those issues with our run game, especially in zone, with outside zone and inside zone, is being able to all step in unison, all be on the same plane as far as the line of scrimmage is concerned. And what kills outside and inside zone is penetration, especially outside zone. And Spencer Burford, when he gets moving laterally, he does not have the strength not to get penetrated. Pause. So Joe Feliciano coming in at right guard after Aaron Banks comes back from his turf toe injury, I think that would be the best move, because I would love to see what that looks like with that new combo on the right side, because I've seen enough of Spencer Burford and Colton McKivitz. It's always going to be like that week in and week out.